Shimmy, shimmy, shimmying into the new year. Welcome back to Queen Beauty Podcast with your co-host. I am Quandras, the queen of movements and moments.
And I am Elise White, queen of connections and all the funky, funky vibes. And remember, you can hear, not to be confused with stinky vibes, but remember, you can hear this episode and more by visiting our website, www.queenbeautypodcast.com. I'm ready for the new year. I don't know about you,
Me
but
too.
this episode is airing somewhere between Beyonce Bowl Christmas 2024. Fuck. 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 Whoa. Anyway, the Eagles thanking the Cowboys for a 13-3 wonderful season. Okay, Eagles. Eagles.
Eagles.
And we're about to introduce 2025 into our world.
Love it. Love it.
Quandras.
Hmm?
Did you know that Y2K was 25 years ago?
Why? Why do we need to remember that? Why?
Where were you
Wait,
in
okay.
Y2K?
All right, wow. I do remember where I was. That's when we thought the world was going to end, right? All
Mm-hmm.
the computers, like, was
Yep.
going to cross over from 1999
I
to
thought it was going to be a
2000. We thought
blackout.
everything's going to start over.
Yep.
I
I
remember
thought
that.
we were going to live in a blackout. I remember
Hmm.
vividly on New Year's Eve 1999,
Hmm.
watching the ball drop in Madison Square Garden, but being on like the TV side of it. So we were watching on TV, and I was in the middle of the floor in the den with the couch, and I had the couch pillows over my head
Over your
because I
head, not
was
like the pots and
scared.
pans.
Yeah, like I was so scared. Like
The
I didn't know what was
pillow.
going to happen, but I didn't want to see it happen. So in the 10, 9, 8, I was like, oh my gosh, I put the pillows over my head. And then I looked up.
It was nothing. It was nothing.
Girl,
We was outside. I remember being outside, like, of my front door. Like, I wasn't far. I was still young. I was
hmm
outside and we was like, looking around like, ah. I remember running around the circle around the car. And then
You ran it around in a circle around the
I don't know why
car.
we were doing that. It was just we was just outside being like teens,
Yeah.
preteens and teens.
Oh gosh. Showing your
Yeah.
age. But anyway, that's crazy. It was 25 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that trip down memory lane as we forge forward to 2025.
And it's so cool because that memory lane is the things that we were scared and fearful of, right? And
Mm.
what our mindset really was like, oh my gosh,
Hmm.
the world's gonna end. And here we are, 25 years later. The world is here. And today we are diving deep into a really cool discussion that Quandras actually recommended we talk about. And I want you to introduce the topic.
All right. So today, first of all, wait, let me say, we're going to talk about having or avoiding a scarcity mindset. We're going to talk about unlimited mindset. And that idea, I'm going to be honest, don't know if y'all saw it. I saw Wicked. And I saw Wicked and I'm sitting there thinking, and her final song is
Yeah.
Unlimited. And then,
Ah!
there
Wait, is that it? I did it real fast. I didn't jump into it.
you did. It's no segue. It's okay.
Sorry.
Do it again. Go on, do it.
Wait, are we going to do it the original way or the way that Cynthia does it? Because she goes,
Go with your heart.
ah.
Well, I mean, the whole premise of the song was being unlimited and having your thinking be unlimited. Like sometimes we put
Yes.
caps where caps don't need to be. And that controls our minds, which controls our actions. So we
Wow.
want to fully embrace the idea of having an unlimited mindset. And we're going to go into that today because there's some things we have to kind of unlock and some things we have to kind of think about, like where our limited mindsets can sometimes be coming from. I have
Right.
to go back to that 25 years ago, Y2K, but there was a limited mindset in the complete formation of those computers, making it in at 1999. You know what
And
I'm saying? And all
you're
of the
right.
things that I work through today say 9999. It's still got a limit, but it's much further out.
It's
So
a
you're
little
going
bit out. You got extra 9 on there. But
right,
you said a
exactly.
couple things that I kind of want to go back a little bit
Hmm.
to some of the pieces of the what this episode is airing in between, and that is the Beyonce Bowl 2024. That relates to this concept of unlimited mindset and thinking. So I'm in a knee-deep conversation with some Bayhivers, not to be confused because I'm not a Bayhive, I just love icons. It's okay. So I am in knee-deep to try to figure out Beyonce. If you don't know, if you lived under a rock, not part of the 27 million viewers that tuned in for the Christmas football game, she did
Hmm.
the halftime show. And now on Netflix, it's just a Beyonce Bowl show. If you go, it's like 13 minutes and it's amazing.
Who was playing? Who was playing?
The Houston
Exactly.
Texans
The
and
football
the
teams were
Baltimore.
playing.
I don't remember. Long story short, listen, Beyonce was playing, okay? Because she
Yeah,
took that whole
Beyonce was
entire
playing.
field. But Beyonce, I mean, not Beyonce, Quandras, which you kind of look like her. So there you go. Um,
I think it.
So, Quandra, she said formation of the computers. And so I'm thinking about formation, about her whole entire marketing score for Instagram, where she's having some big announcement on January 13th, 2025. And
Hmm.
he keeps saying, look at that horse. And this whole, like, I'm asking people, what do they think? And my cousin was asking me, what do you think? Is it going to be a tour? Because we know we got to get our coins together. But one thing that Beyonce does really well, and that is setting her own history, establishing her
Hmm.
own history, but also she is very unlimited in her thinking. So whatever you think she's about to do, she's probably not gonna do it.
It's gonna be
And
different.
it's gonna be very different because she has a vision and she can
Yes.
see what other people can't see. So in my mind, I'm looking at her videos like, what does look at that horse mean? Because that was the
Trying to
first thing
guess,
on
trying to
Instagram.
outthink, trying to
Trying to
outthink, like,
outthink the big
right.
visionary. And I went, and so then when they were doing it on the field, she says, look at that horse. And I know it's a lyric to a song, but I was like, oh,
Right.
they popping. Look at that horse. So maybe she's gonna do something like popping with a horse. I'm like,
Oh, I get it though. I get it. It's true. And like in my mind, when I'm thinking about her show and the unlimited thinking, is
yeah,
how everybody, and it was actually a topic for a little bit, who's performing at the Super Bowl halftime show, right? And
right.
what she did was she took herself out of the mix for a Super Bowl halftime show, recognizing who she is as a person. She don't just have to be at the halftime show of the
Wow.
Super Bowl for it to be a big thing. It can literally be any game of the year halftime show. Is she gonna make it pop? It's strategically, marketing wise, it made sense to do it on Christmas because everybody home.
I
Everybody gonna tune in.
know,
We got
right?
time, we got space. Let's do it. Who gonna say no? Who gonna say
And
no?
then
She's not
reimagining in
competing. She don't
place.
even have to
She don't have to
compete.
compete.
You
To
know.
that point, additionally, with the
Mm-hmm.
CMA Awards, so there was a whole bunch of slack that her country album didn't get nominated for the CMA Awards, and neither did some like black upcoming country artists like Shabuzi, who has a very popular song out, a couple songs
Mm-hmm.
out. So one of those things is they redefined that too, right? They got more viewers than the CMA did. When you talk about exposure and kind of comparing yourself, it's easy to compare yourself on what we are used to seeing and used to knowing. But how do you establish yourself and recognize who you are? You said it, Quandras, who you are, establishing yourself and saying, oh, I'm just going to change the game.
Do something
And
different. Why not?
I'm not going to be limited in these sectors that people have to compare me about.
Right.
I
Make
am
my
my
own
own
lane.
runway. I make my
Make
own
my own
lane.
lane.
I
That's
love
it. And
that.
that's kind of exactly leaning into that unlimited mindset. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And the first thing I think, which is super important, especially going back to like, everybody competing to try to be that performer at the Super Bowl, is avoiding scarcity mindset. And the
Mm.
idea is with scarcity mindset, it's the belief that resources, opportunities, and success are limited. And it's a shift
Wow.
in how you're thinking about the world and the place that you have in it. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let me just
That's
tell y'all that
amazing.
before I was talking, I did not read that definition. I'm reading it now.
But it's so on point with everything that
Yeah.
we're talking about. So you think that these are the opportunities in front of you.
Hmm.
These are the standards of success
Right.
because it's scarcity. You think, oh well, if I have to fit into this box and there's only three people who get this award or this category, then this is who
Right.
I am.
Right. There's only
There
three
you
people to get
go.
this opportunity. And I don't remember where I read it or who said it or what I was listening to when talking about new ideas or things. And it's like, oh, it's so many people who already do that idea. How am I going to stand out? Like,
Yeah.
those type of that way of thinking. And then they said, well, if you walk down the bread aisle, I said that like bread aisle because there's like a million different types of loaves of bread.
Yep.
All of them companies are doing well. They all doing good.
Right.
There's an aisle, a whole aisle of a million different types because there's something for someone out there. So don't limit yourself in thinking that there's nobody who's going to get your thing. If it's a
Mm-hmm.
need and it's out there, you got a chance. Like go on ahead and try.
This is cool. I love
Yeah.
that. So I know we talked about some strategies that we wanted to share with our audience about how do we avoid falling
Hmm.
into this scarcity mindset and really start embracing an unlimited mindset. How do we
Yes.
flip it, switch it, and reverse it?
Switch it and reverse it. Like, you gonna
I did
take
that
us
on
all the
purpose.
way back musically too. I like it.
What year? What year? Let me find out. What year did that Missy Elliot song come out?
No, but I mean, it's good. It's good. It definitely has to be a reversal and shift in your mindset.
2002.
You
22.
found the year, didn't you?
It was
You look like
2002.
2002? Look at that.
So focusing on flip it and reverse it with a mindset
Yes.
shift, right? Flip it and
Yes.
reverse it
We got to do
from
it.
scarcity to unlimited,
I
right?
love it. It's
Yeah.
a focus on abundance, right? A focus
Mm,
on abundance. And I like that word. That might, how you come up with like a word for the year? That might be my word is
I
abundance.
love that.
And I'm trying to, I picked up a book already. I think, I picked up a book already on it. I'm trying to listen to whatever I could listen to. I'm going to start my January off like that, but it's a focus on abundance, not lack. And so it's shifting your perspective. And instead of thinking about what you don't have, it's like a focus on what you do have and appreciate your strengths, your relationship, your resources, like celebrating your wins. You know what I'm saying? And all of that
Yeah.
is important. And I remember you talking about that when it came to like just the gratitude. It kind of goes hand in hand with gratitude
Yeah.
when you're thinking about the positive things and that shift. It's kind of combating when because we're going to have those thoughts like as humans. We're going to have
Yep.
that thing that comes in like, well, what if I can't do it, or what if what? It would be dope to just already have like a list of the things that you already did.
Yeah.
You already did so much. Why can't you do another thing? You
Mm.
know, it's really dope to think like that,
It
and
is. It is dope.
it does shift your. If you do it enough, I think it would shift your mind.
I think it requires another favorite word, being intentional,
Mm.
because
Mhm.
we go through so many day-to-day requirements. I was listening to Miles Monroe talk about visionary thinking, and he talked about something that I thought was important, which is the fact that we go through 7,000 to 10,000 decisions a day, the average human. And I don't know where he found that, but it's really cool. When you think about it, I literally sat, and I want you all to think, the listeners, how many decisions do you make a day? Like, it sounds like a lot, 10,000 decisions a day. However, the decision to wake up, open your eyes, the decision to, I don't
Make
know,
breakfast or stop at the drive-through
right?
because that was like me this morning.
How many times do you pick up this funky device and decide to
Mhm.
check your messages, check your emails, check scroll? Every reel, every TikTok video is a decision.
Every
Okay?
scroll.
Every
Oh,
scroll is
you can
every
stop.
swipe.
Every swipe.
So, I mean, we're making the decisions
Yeah.
constantly, right? So, being intentional about what you did, because we do so much. Our bodies are so used to making decisions before we can even call it a decision. We're just doing
Right.
it. And so, you have to be intentional to figure out or even embrace the abundance that you're offering to the world, the gifts that you have, the resources that you have in front of you. You have to be looking with a
Mhm.
different set of eyes. And it
You
can't
do
just be
have
your
to look with a
daily.
different set of eyes. And I
Yeah.
think that like back to your point of being intentional, it's about to be the new year, new me, new year, new me, all of
Look,
that, right?
look, yeah, tomorrow, 2025.
gonna be brand new. But that's not gonna happen without some intention. And what is the saying about writing it down? Like if you write it down, you're
It's
like
lame.
how many more times likely to actually achieve it if you
Yes.
write it down? And I think that's the first step in like being intentional is
Mm-hmm.
writing it down. And if we're talking about abundance and remembering what we do have, it might be a good idea on top of your vision to just like write down the things that you do have, like
Yeah.
so that you can remember it because it's helpful to pull it when you're in the moment. It's like, I ain't do nothing. It's helpful
Yeah.
to have something somewhere, some little sticky note somewhere to remind you of like the cool things that you did and or accomplished, even if it's a small
Yeah.
win that time where you decided to get a side salad instead of the French fries, whatever, depending on your goals. You know what I'm saying? I think it's important to like remember those things, and you can't remember it without intentionally putting it somewhere for you to
Yeah.
remember.
I like that. So whatever floats your boat to celebrate your I would call them your small wins.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat and how you do that, whether you're writing it down on a notepad if you're a journal person, if you're putting it on your notes on your cell phone, if you are a TikToker or a poster and I saw some people, I actually have friends, they do
Hmm.
this 365 a year post. They like to take really nice pictures, but that's
Hmm.
them remembering, being focused and
Oh,
intentional on things, how they
I like that.
remember things. So yeah, so you have to figure out how you document those wins and those victories in your life. I love that. So that's how we can say our first step to shifting the scarcity mindset and focusing on abundance and not lack. What else do we have?
Well, one thing which I just kind of really want you to discuss a lot because you already do it,
Okay.
which is collaborate, don't compete. And I want to say that you are like the queen of collaboration and networking. But like that, it's just a powerful statement. Collaborate, don't compete. Like you don't have
Yeah.
to compete like the way you're thinking. Compete against yourself. If you're gonna compete against anyone, compete against yourself. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? But speak to that. What comes to mind when you think about that? Like collaborating, don't compete.
Yeah, that thank you. I love that. Collaborate, don't compete. So I believe that we are we all have our own gifts, unique gifts.
Yeah.
And we have even more, triple, 100 times, 10 times more gifts when we are doing something collectively.
Yeah.
Because you can pick up on everybody's strengths, and even though you have your gift, that is not all the gifts in the world. Think about great
Right.
CEOs, great leaders. Every leader in the world has a great team that they've collaborated with, and they
Absolutely.
understand what the person's strengths are. And so even if you have, the multi-bread aisle situation, and oh my gosh, this is competition, it's really not, because like, does your rye bread meet this potato bread that I'm about to hit?
And
Because
somebody wants sesame seeds on their bread. Come on now.
come on now.
For whatever reason.
Exactly. And so there's space enough for everyone. And the ideas that are so the ideas that can be birthed through collaboration
Hmm.
are powerful, and they can help you figure out, how do you stand out? How do you create a Super Bowl experience on Christmas
Right.
when we are thinking about the Super Bowl on this one Super Bowl a year event? But that all comes through collaboration. Everybody, Beyonce included, has a powerful team. You see how she pulls the same people. You can see the same people who have been riding with her for her tours throughout years of performance. You see them still there rocking it out. I'm pretty sure she gets life and invites them into conversations to
Right.
build and grow the experiences that you see on stage every single time she hits the stage. So I am a strong component of collaboration. I do think that that is one of the catalysts to strong relationships.
Yes.
And relationships are more valuable than money in a lot of ways. We think
Right.
about money first. We think we should be thinking about collaboration to build and grow relationships, because that's the investment. That
I
short
agree.
that these the investment of what you do today to build and create collaborations and relationships have a long-term return on investment for you. And the win is celebrating something that you didn't even know was possible, and you being
Mm-hmm.
able to appreciate and be excited about the abundance that's a part of your life. So I
Mm-hmm.
that's my little spiel on that.
I love it. I love it a lot. And you said a lot of good things there. And I think that especially when you tied it into business, it's one of like the key aspects of business is collaboration. When you think about on the job and stuff like that, they've been hiring purposes. They want someone who knows how to collaborate. They and even the higher executive teams, they're big on collaboration because they know it works. They know it works, and you get a multitude of ideas, and having that multitude of ideas, it expands your mindset, it expands your thinking, it expands what one single mind can think about. You know what I'm saying? And so it opens you up. It opens you up to different types of things. And I think that it's a wonderful thing that you are as strong as your team. I think it's a good thing. I don't think it's something that we should be scared of. A lot of resources come out of that. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we think we don't have some things to ourselves, which is, going back to yourself and your own limited mindset again. I'm pretty sure that a lot of us have way more to offer than what we realize, even if it's not us having a direct knowledge, but it's us
Yeah.
knowing.
I can't hear you. I don't know if it was me, but you just went out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
I Okay.
What happened? I
I
froze.
got a phone call, and I don't know if that signal somehow interfered with the signal of my thing.
Okay, that works.
Um, I just noticed that that's what just happened. I had a phone call.
Got it.
So anyway, what I was saying was having, even if you don't personally think that you have anything like a particular skill set to offer in the area that someone is asking, you may not have it, but you may know someone else who has that skill set. So
Yeah.
you sharing that knowledge and not trying to like who to tighten on that. That's my person. That's my person for this specialty. You can't have them like, no, that's kind of whack and it's not fair, even for the other person who may want to share.
Yeah.
So I
Do
think
you
that
think
even in that regard.
you just gave me an idea? So sharing your knowledge is super important, and there's so many people that have gotten left behind over the past 25 years since Y2K.
Hmm.
You can use the past 25 years as an example
Hmm.
of how much in our digital world has been birthed from
Yeah.
2000 to
Yeah.
2025. And if you were a person or are a person that operates in this scarcity mindset, you don't want to share information that you know or have. And I know several people who are still doing the same thing that they used to do and have been doing, and they don't want to share it, how they do it. Some people don't want to share their recipe. Some people don't
Oh
want to
my
share
God. We
the
listen.
information they know from a computer. But the computer has changed. Recipes
Hmm.
have changed. Things have changed and
Hmm.
expanded and gotten bigger and grown into huge a multitude of different type of final products that we see today on like app experiences. But if you still stuck on that, I'm gonna do it this way and I don't want to share, it's unfortunate for you.
It is.
It's just unfortunate. I don't have anything else to say,
It really is. It
because
really
you're missing
is.
out on so much.
Yeah. You're missing out. You're missing out on what could happen if you move forward. And it's crazy because that's literally what they were talking about in church this past Sunday.
Oh, okay, 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 Pastor Quan. I'm about
It
to
just
call you
reminded
Pastor
me of it when
Quan.
you said that. That was literally what it was about. Is like holding on to information, or kind of like you had all this information, you invested so much into this thing, right? And you feel like you don't want to let it go because of how much you've invested into it. You don't want to share your knowledge with
Yeah,
anyone else. Like that's a shame. And I think that it is part of a scarcity mindset because you can share it and then they can share with you, and together you can make something like super dope,
amazing.
super super.
Right.
So share that recipe.
Share that recipe, girl, sir, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. So I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to move forward. I know one of the final things that could be a real shift in your perspective when you're thinking of abundance and thinking of not having a scarcity mindset is changing your self-talk. And that one is big. self-talk is probably at the top of the list, at least for me it was, of
Yeah.
like closing doors before they even open. Like I had bolts on them, like, nope, I ain't even going. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a thing, that's a real thing. And you have to really sit with yourself
Yep.
and think about yourself in a different way. And you have to talk to yourself in a different way. And think for me, what helped was, how would I feel if in my mind, to stay with me, if in my
Okay.
mind I'm talking about me, if I heard someone else talking about like my best friend the way I'm talking about me in my mind, I would be
Ooh.
offended. I would be offended.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So it's
deep.
like, look at
Yeah.
me. I'm looking at me like I'm looking at my best friend. And I'm not about to let anybody talk about my best friend. Like, stop.
Yeah. And you like full stop, because you're not
Full
gonna talk
stop.
about my best friend
Pause.
like that.
Apples. Whatever you want to say. We're just going to end this conversation right here.
Wow.
So
I never
that
thought about
helped
it
for
like
me.
that. We are our own worst critics. And I know that's
Yeah.
a cliche term, but it is so easy. I think the going back to the decisions we make a day, number of decisions we don't even know we're making a day.
Hmm.
How many times are we saying negative things to ourselves, unhappy with our body, unhappy with something that we don't like that's going on about ourselves? And if you transform that mindset, again, that requires being intentional, but it
Yes.
also is, making yourself your own best friend.
Yeah.
Instead of saying love yourself, I feel like we always say we love ourselves, but like, how do you make sure to, like, what's a small way to do that? Call yourself your
Yeah.
best friend, because you wouldn't talk to your best friend like the way sometimes you may talk to yourself.
That's very true. And it's interesting you say that, because that was the second thing that I kind of leaned into on the love side. And we say love yourself, but I don't think, like, for me, I think I want to hear people say the definition of what things are more than the word, because people
Mm-hmm.
are changing like the definitions of words.
Lord, so many
So I kind of want
definitions
to say
change.
what it means. And for me, when I
Yeah.
think about love, love is patient, love is kind, love is forgiving, love doesn't hold like records of things.
Okay,
And
scripture.
so if I'm loving myself like that, then
Yeah.
cool. If I'm loving myself like the self-love, if I'm just going, I don't know, facials, nothing wrong with facials, but how is that changing my inside? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I want to love myself the First Corinthians 13 type of way. Like
Mm-hmm.
best friend love. That's what you want to do.
Best friend
So
love. Change your self-talk. So it's change your self-talk and embrace best friend love.
Oh,
I like that too.
that was good.
So yeah, so
So
I think in total, if we
mhm.
kind of reflect on that, the three things that we can do to encourage more unlimited thinking and avoiding this scarcity mindset is focus. Number one, focus on abundance and not lack. Collaborate and don't compete.
Mhm.
Change your self talk and
Mhm.
embrace best friend love.
I
Self
like
love.
it.
Yeah, I like that
I
too.
like it. And I
Yeah.
kind of actually think like a call to action for us is really that self-talk, because I think you can hit a couple categories with that self-talk on, just like, improve, like really like take stock at how you're talking to yourself in your mind. Take
Mm-hmm.
stock of that. And when you're telling yourself, I can't do that, that's too big, that's too much, that's too whatever, combat that with a positive thought. And remember to talk to yourself like your best friend. I think that's like a call to action.
I love that. Yeah. So we've got three healthy habits, call to action. We can call them healthy habits to start the new year. I don't know what we want to call it, for an unlimited mindset. And that
Yeah.
is, and the ways to change that self-talk is doing some morning empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
So start your day by creating creating goals instead of talking about what you didn't do or hitting the snooze button. Like, what are the goals that you want to start today? Empower yourself. Give yourself a hug. That's
Mm-hmm.
really what empowerment means. Right? So that's how you can start off in the morning. You can also have mindful decision making.
Yeah.
So that's the intentional piece. So instead of just doing everything,
Right. Diving head first.
right, just maybe kind of take a step back and pause and ask, is this moving me forward or holding me back? Just ask yourself
I
real
like
quick.
that. I like that.
It's moving
It's
me forward or holding
simple,
me back.
but it's deep. Am I moving myself forward, or am I holding myself back? I don't know why the fluctuations of
No,
the
I
different
love it
words
though. No,
maybe
it
like
it hit though. If
it
I'm
hit,
moving
right?
myself forward or I'm moving myself back.
Right. And it's
I love
I,
that.
because it's me doing it. And that means that I can control it. Because they tell you like focus on what you can control. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So like,
Yes.
am I moving myself forward or am I moving myself back? That's putting like ownership over it and
Mm-hmm.
accountability.
Yes.
That accountability piece.
This is good. Okay. I'm
I like
here
that.
for it. Okay. And the last thing you can do to help change that self-talk and get that scarcity mindset out the window, keep that in 2024 and beyond, um, is a gratitude check. So
Hmm.
at the end of every evening, easier said than done, because I know a long day is a long day. You make 10,000 up to 10,000 decisions. What three things went well as
Yes.
far as pushing you forward?
I like that. I like that. That's the part of the celebrating the small wins. So I like
Yep.
that. That's good. That's good.
I love it.
Mhm.
I love it. So I think it's time to stop playing small and really start making intentional decisions to help create a limitless mindset.
I love it. I
That's our
think
reflective thought.
we could wrap it up right there.
Booyah! Booyah! Wait, what year did Booyah come out? No, I'm joking. Now
I feel like that was Sister Act that we're, I don't know if it came out then, but it got big because booyah, booyah. All right, let's stop.
Booyah! All right, Sister Act 2, not to be confused. Anyway, thank you
Oh my God.
everyone for spending some time with us today with your listening ears. You can check our show notes for more information and links referenced within this episode. Please remember you can check our website, www.queenbeautypodcast.com. Send us any comments, questions to queenbeautypodcast@gmail.com.
And please subscribe to our podcast for instant access on new episodes. Leave us a 5-star rating, y'all, and review if you can. If you can. You can find us on social media, Instagram and Facebook at Queen Beauty Podcast. So special shout out to y'all. Special shout out to us for just keeping this going. I'm excited for the new year and for all the different things that we have planned for y'all. It's going to be fun. Please join us and see us back here soon for some quality time with your Queen Beauty Podcast. Peace and love.
Before we go, we are on social media. Yeah, we are on Instagram and we are on Facebook, but we also have visual episodes on YouTube, y'all. Hit us up. We got visual episodes. Come on, we got a whole channel.
Check us out,
It's
y'all.
gonna be in the show notes. It's gonna be in the show
It's
notes.
going to be in the show notes. Check us out.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Bye.